All right, so I washed it out with Simple Green. Wash this inner tube out with the throttle grip with Simple Green, and I'm gonna use some type of liquid gasket. No, this is like, it's like you could use this. This is like a some type of a gasket, you know, like you know, similar to like RTV, whatever it is. I don't have anything else, so I'm gonna use this on here. I'm gonna just dab a little bit. Oops, kind of dry there. Get rid of that dry section there. Just kind of smear it on just really lightly. Very thin, light coat. Alright. This should hold up to the twisting of the throttle, but also probably the, you know, when you leave the bike out in the sun, because the grip is black, it get hot. So this will hopefully help with that as well. So that's it. So it's just really lightly, very light coat. I'm just gonna squeeze this in here. Actually, this should be dry. I blew it with the air compressor. So this is like so. Slid in pretty easily. I want to make sure that this is down here. It's basically with the tube in there. So I can feel it getting drying up already. Let's go a little bit further. Just a few millimeters. It's just enough so that way my tube end here is flush with my grip, and that should be good. It's pretty much flush with the grip, right? See that? So I'm good there. That's it. Set this aside. Oops. Now we can put everything back together. Okay. Let's see. Let's look at the metal grip here. So basically, I need to hook up the two here. So basically, it's gonna be like this. The orientation is like this. So when I pull or when I rotate, giving it gas like this, I'm pulling on here, and this is what opens the throttle tube, and this right here is what closes the throttle tube. So going back this way, it pulls on this, and that closes the throttle tube. So there's a little grease on here already, so hopefully that should be enough. So I don't need to really grease this. If I do, I might just a little squirt of grease on here, but we'll see. Let's see. Unfortunately, I don't have a tall tripod or anything like that, so you just have to have it be at an awkward angle for you guys. Let's see. So I'm gonna go on the bottom one first. Try not to touch this with my fingers, so I don't want to get grease all over my fingers. Actually, I don't want to get grease on the grip. That's what it is. Side. Oops, you know what? Let's put this on the tube first. On the tube here first. Okay. Okay. Both in there. And a little clearance for the throttle here. Now there's a lot of slack here. You see there's a lot of slack on the cable there. I need to take out that slack, and I have to go back to the throttle body here. So there's the cable there. So now I just took up the slack on both of them. So let me hook this one back up. So this one was on the other side here. It's actually on this side like so. That's something like this. I don't know how much you take up yet because the throttle tube diameter is different, so the slack here is going to be different. But let me just tighten this up so that way it doesn't shift around. Okay. So now you see here it's all taken up now. So now it works. Okay. So I just need to put this back properly. Okay. So on the OEM Honda handlebar, there's a on the handlebar itself, there's a spot where there's a hole, and the control here, it's like a peg and hole. So you have to get that little peg into the holes for the controls to line up properly. So they did that for manufacturing purposes. That way it's easy to, so that way you don't have to spend time figuring out where exactly the position, where to index it. So that hole is basically the indexer. So when they put this together, when they manufacture it, you know, it's real fast when they do that. Without that hole, it takes a lot longer. There's the hole right there. So once it's in the hole, you can't rotate it and you can't slide it in and out either. So we go there. I'm just gonna hold this with my bare hands real fast. I just test rotate it, just to see. Okay, feels good. Okay, now put it back together with 2 screws. One, another one. Both of these screws are the same size, so you don't have to worry about which one's on top or which one's on bottom. That's the cool thing about Honda, is that they do that. They make usually whatever part you have to take them off. They make it that way the screws and nuts and bolts are the same for the most part, so that way you won't confuse. You know which nut and bolt goes where, so you don't put a short bolt in a long hole, in a deep hole. Okay, so it feels pretty tight. This is good here. Let's look at how much space I have. You can see a little bit of that adhesive around the edge there. Well, that's about how much space I have. So if I pull it out, there's a few millimeters. If I push it in, it doesn't touch. There's still like at least a millimeter of space. So it's good. Okay, so I'm good there. Let me put the weight back on. So here you look at the weight, you can see that it has there's a step here. See that? So on one side here there's a step. So you have to line that up with what's in here for it to sit in properly. So I'm gonna use my little impact. So there's where it sits in. If I go out further, I can see it's sticking out farther right here. There's bigger space. But if it sits in where it's supposed to be, it's actually closer. that's it. It just free spins. That's how this thing is. That's how it's designed. It just free spins. You can never really tighten it down where it doesn't spin. So I'm gonna check my grip here. That way it's flush with the throttle tube. Still flush with the throttle tube. I'm good there. And just a matter of leaving this thing until it cures. The gasket material cures. So now I need to check for slack. How much slack I have here. Because when you're adjusting your at the throttle body, you don't want to take up all your slack where there's no free play here. It has to have a little bit of free play. So going back to the throttle body, so you see this free play. If there's no if I took up slack on the throttle body, right now it has no free play. And there's free play, and there's no free play. So when there's no free play, what happens is that when your handlebar is straight, it might seem like it's okay, but when you turn your handlebar, because there's no free play, when you turn the handlebar, it will actually take some of the cable. It will pull on the cable a little bit, so it actually opens up the throttle. So you don't want that. That's why you have to have the free play. It's basically a safety thing. So let's go back to that. Back to that side. Oh, oops! What am I doing? Let's take the tripod. It's taking the whole base there. Let's go back to this side here and adjust this free play here. So, and you see the cable wiggling, so that's my free play right there. All right. So that's a little bit too much free play for me. I'm gonna go a little bit. Honda does have a spec on how much free play there should be. I usually, as far as free play goes, I go with just enough that way, just enough where it doesn't pull on the cable when you're turning the steering wheel, the handlebars. So right now there's still free play, and my handlebars turn all the way to one side, all the way to the other. Still some free play. I'm gonna take it up a little bit more. So that's pretty good there. So that's centered, steering wheel straight. There's more slack there versus all the way to the right. It's a little bit less slack. Center, a little bit more slack. To the left, well, left's not so bad. Seems like the right, turning all the way to the right, has the least amount of slack. Yeah, turning to the right has the least amount of slack. So I'm gonna leave it at the right, so that way I could gauge how much slack to leave, how much free play basically to leave. I think actually that's pretty good. So I still have a little bit of space left, so that means I could basically tighten up my because there's still space here. I don't want to tighten this up because it's, let's see, I need to take up the slack on the bottom one actually, because the top one is actually only for it's only too tight to prevent this from loosening out. So it's the bottom one that takes up the slack. So it's like so. So right there, I have no slack there at all. So I actually have to loosen this up a little bit. So I have to basically spin this up a little bit. That's pretty good right there. That seems to be pretty good. So I did touch this other side, no need to. Okay, so that's pretty good right there. I think that's good. I'm gonna call that good. Let's tighten it up, then we'll see. It's a little bit on the tight side, I think. a little tighter than I would like. So you always have to tighten it up to double check. Oh, I think I'm gonna loosen up the bottom one. Maybe one flat. So see where that flat is right there. I'm gonna loosen it up one flat. So that means I have to give the slack. The top one gives me slack. Bottom one more right there should be good. Let's see. Let's try that out. So you hear all the motorcycles. Today's it's 1st of February, so still middle of winter. But it's actually a nice day today. It's a little overcast this morning, but by noon it actually got nice and sunny and pretty warm. So all the motorcycles are out. So that's pretty good right there. I think I'm okay with this amount of slack. Yeah, I'm good with that. Okay, so right now my handlebars are all the way to the right. Let me go back to center. Still a good amount. All the way to the left. Yeah, that's good. Feels good to me. Okay, that's it. So this is nice and good. Buttoned up. The top here is buttoned up. So let's look at the slack here. So I like to have a little bit of less slack than what Honda recommends. So just a little bit. It's not that much movement, but it's not. There's no binding though. There's no binding anywhere. Just a tiny little bit. So that's what I personally prefer. But as the throttle tube though, it'll wear out. It'll wear in a little bit. The throttle tube where the cables ride in there. As you pull on it, a lot of times the cable will actually start to kind of eat into this a little bit, and this will actually loosen up, and it will actually get a little bit more slack. But that's that takes time though. It takes a pretty long time. I can look at this one. I don't see any. Looking at this one, this bike has 2,000 miles. Looking at this one, I don't see any grooves in here, so it tells me it's all right. But anyways, yeah. So that's it. Yeah, now I just need to button everything back together.